This reflection this morning is just unreal. Right now we're at a place called South Lake, just outside Bishop, California. I actually drove up here from Los Angeles, which is about a 4 to 5 hour drive, depending on how often you stop. And I'm gonna be taking you guys to see some of the last of the fall foliage. So we're going to be heading from here in the Whitney Portal area up through Mammoth Lakes, checking out some of the lakes, checking out some of the cool driving places that you can go, and a couple of short hikes. I'm going to be shooting primarily today on my brand new camera, which is the OM Systems OM-5. Now, so far I'm really loving this camera. It's super tiny and compact. You can still put interchangeable lenses. I have a 12 to 45 on here right now, and this camera is an f4. So I'm going to be showing you some of my features that I really like so far on this camera, some of the photos that we take along the route as well. But right now, as I said, we're at a place called South Lake. We're going to head from here to a couple of other lakes, and I think we're going to see some really spectacular stuff. Stop is Lake Sabrina. This is just up the road from our first stop, and you drive through a place called Aspendell. And if I had been up here about 2 weeks ago, there would have been some absolutely spectacular yellow colors in the aspens. Most of them have actually already lost their leaves, but the views are no less spectacular up here. It is cold as well. That first lake was about 21. I think it's warmed up to about 30 degrees here, but it is cold, so make sure you pack your gloves. If you're like me, you often reach for your iPhone when you need to just take a quick photo, or even if you want to do something artistic like adding a filter or something like that. Sometimes it's just easy to grab your phone and then add a filter in social media apps or a different phone editing app. But this camera has it all built in, so it makes it super easy. So I'm going to show you one of the modes, which is called art mode, right here as we're on the shoreline of Lake Sabrina here. And it gives you a bunch of different filters that you can basically use in the camera. So I'm going to take a bunch of photos here using each different mode and show you what they are. All right, we found the fall colors. This is our next stop, Convict Lake. And this is just right off the 395 as you head towards Mammoth. And so beautiful here. You can camp here, you can hike around the lake, you can go fishing or boating. So lots of variety here. Definitely would be fantastic here in the summertime too. All right, our next stop is June Lake. There's actually a loop that goes around a couple of different lakes here through the town of June Lake as well. So we are going to be hitting as much as we can here. And a lot of the fall colors are gone, but it's still really beautiful around here, and you're gonna see just how beautiful in a second. There are just so many beautiful stops along this route. I'm really liking the June Lake Loop. If you're feeling a little lazy or just don't want to get out of the car, this is definitely something you should drive if you're up here in Mammoth Lakes. There are actually dozens of lakes up in this region of the Eastern Sierras, and all just absolutely spectacular come spring or fall, and of course in the summer as well. Winter is about to come here, and soon enough this area will be blanketed with snow. So I'm glad that we're getting to experience some of the beauty here before that happens. Before we go, I want to highlight one of the other features of the OM-5 that I'm really enjoying, and that's just its ability to just be super plug and play. You know, I usually speak to you guys with a microphone like I am right now, but there's sometimes where I'm just trying to do something really quickly. I don't want to take the time to set up my microphones or get them out of my backpack, which is why sometimes I've always reached for my phone to film stuff like stories or a reel or even just a quick little section of my vlog. But this camera has definitely changed that for me, because most professional cameras, you don't have great microphones that are internal. They're made more so to have some sort of external microphone. So I want to show you the difference between me talking on the microphone, which is right now I'm talking to you on the microphone, to what it sounds like now when I'm no longer on the microphone. You can tell that as long as you're close to the camera, this OM-5 actually has fantastic sound right in the camera. So even if you didn't have your microphone for some reason, or you just wanted to say something really quickly and didn't have the time to get it out, this camera actually allows you to do that. So it's a feature that I really love. Okay, the last lake on this lake loop is Grant Lake, and wow, it is spectacular. Still some aspens just along the lake shore here that are just changing colors. There's also a hillside here with a huge grouping of them. I don't know how I have never come up here in the summertime and just camped next to the lake and gone swimming every day, but that might be something that I have to do next summer. This isn't all that this video has in store. I've got one more stop for you before we end the day. This is Mono Lake. It's one of the oldest lakes in California and definitely one of the strangest. It's super salty, actually twice as salty as the ocean, and more alkaline too. And that's because this lake actually sits at the end of the Great Basin. So different bodies of water all drain into this area. And because this lake is hundreds of thousands of years old, all of those minerals and all of those salts have just built up here. So you have these really unique rock formations called tufas, and a lot of the rocks are actually covered in salt crystals. Now, you may not think that many things live in this lake, but you actually have alkaline flies and brine shrimp that live in the lake, and birds love to come and eat them. While we're here, I'm going to share one of my little secrets for self-portraiture. Now, I almost never have anyone that can stand behind the camera and take pictures of me. And as a content creator, you can't just ask strangers because usually they're going to give you very bad photos. I have experienced this. So you have to get really good at just taking your own photography. And this camera makes it really easy because there's a really easy button for you to be able to do self-timer and continuous, also high speed, low speed continuous. So it's really easy and you can actually send it to different intervals. You can do 5 to 7 photos and then you can set the amount of time in between the shots too. So I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do this right now. I know I said this video was about fall foliage, but how about just some spectacular colors? This lake is just such a wild color of blue. And all around you have fall colors, yellows, oranges. It's just so beautiful. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little road trip through Mammoth Lakes, through some of Bishop and Whitney Portal, and learning about my OM-5. You know, this is a brand new camera. I've really enjoyed it so far, and it's definitely given me a new tool to be able to shoot content quickly and on the go instead of just using my phone. So really liking it so far. If you want to learn more about the camera, you can check out the link in the description. And if you want to watch more of my content from California, because I have a lot, this is my home state and I've been to a lot of places, although there are still so many more places to explore. I've got a California playlist, which I've linked down in the description as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. I've got lots more coming to you. I just spent a few weeks in Jordan. I'm going to be going to some very far Arctic regions in just a couple of weeks. So lots to come on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm Alice Ford. Never stop exploring.